Hello, everybody. Welcome. Sitting here with Patrick.
Hi everyone, I'm Patrick JS.
And Patrick, I just learned Angular 2 a few days ago, and a few of the concepts are still new to me. So Patrick is going to show me how to do what?
Data binding, I believe.
Data binding. Yeah. So I built an Angular CLI app. So let me figure out how to do. Okay. Let's see. Let me just. Yeah, okay. There we go. Okay, so dependent. So ngserve. So this is my amazing app. And what I've been able to do so far is use Materialize CSS and do this thing where, if you can see, if I click on it, I'm clicking on Ben, it says hi Ben. Click on James, it says hi James. But the next thing I want to do is I want to be able to have them choose their fate, and based on the fate they choose, like if they press 2, then something will show up right here based on that.
Okay.
So let me just open up my okie dokes. So what I did with the fate part of it, because it's a fate list, so with this one I just created a people list, right? And actually created a service, and then I stuck everything in there with a person in the message. What I thought was probably the smartest thing to do is create another fate list, right? So I'm going to assume that because I had to create the service where the array lies, I need to do the same thing for the fate list. Is that right?
You could, yeah.
Or is there a better way to do it?
We could do that. We could use two components for this example. That's fine.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So I'm just going to copy this because I'm lazy. Fate list service.ts. Okay, and then this is where I can name it anything, right? So, fate list service. Let's see my build breaking in the background. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now I have my fate thing, and then I have to go into my file import fate list service. Ooh, my thing is not working.
Yeah, because you're using TypeScript, so TypeScript allows you to autocomplete and whatnot.
I
So
don't see it though.
your fate list service.
Yeah. Why don't I see it?
Oh, I don't know.
Whatever. Okay. So fate list service. Okay.
Oh,
What?
it's not showing up because you forgot the slash after the dot.
Oh.
So
Yay!
TypeScript was trying to save you there. It's saying like I can't find it because I literally cannot find it.
Oh. I should probably listen to TypeScript more.
Yeah.
Well, this is week 1 for me of TypeScript, so. Okay, so now I have that. And then I'm assuming that I need to now. Okay, so this is where. Okay, so this is basically like. This is going to be like what? This is going to be. No, I need to like. Okay, no. I'm like totally skipping ahead of myself here of what I need to do. Okay, so for this one, I need to each over something, right?
Um, what's your data set? Well, first let's look at the data set
Okay,
we have. All right,
I have a
so
fate and a message.
we have 3 items in our data set, or our fates collection, correct? Now, if we go back to our template,
Three things, yeah, okay.
yep.
go back to the template.
It was modeled as 1, 2, 3, so we're assuming that the fate is those three inside of our service.
Right.
So you want to, well, this is a special case because we're using some sort of jQuery thing, but we'll just see what happens, and if it works, it works. So you could technically hard code this, but we could also.
But we want to do it right.
Yeah, well, it's questionable whether or not it's right because we know the size of the data set. But what we could use is ng4 and loop over the three fates.
So do I need to do this click on person, select person thing?
We could do that afterwards, but yes, we're essentially going to do that. But
so what do I do first?
You want to do an li ng4. So create an empty li element, yep, and give it an attribute of ng4, star ng4.
So what?
Fate of fates.
Okay, so is fate the local?
Yeah, fate is the current fate inside of the iteration.
Okay, fate of fates. Okay, got it.
Now, by convention, I always put that in a new line, and then inside there, I would create your link.
Okay, so I need to create an A tag. So this is, so do I just create an A tag?
Yeah.
Okay, and then this is, I'll just do that, and then, well, actually, so this needs to be linked up to something.
Well, this is where we look in our data set, and then we usually will provide one there.
Okay, so this is fate.fate, right?
If that is inside the data set, yeah.
In this one, it's called fate.
Yep. And then we would also put the URL inside of each one of our fates if you want to dynamically set it inside of the for loop.
So what, where does the, help.
Where does, so if we go back to, not services, but not the wrong one. Where am I? Here it is. If we go back here, inside of our HTML, we can see that the fate is now representing the current fate object. And if we split the screen to the right, we could, well, I guess we have to move that over. Then go back to markup. Cool, so you can see that the fate object represents the first object in this case, and we use the property fate to represent the value benlash for the first one. And it's going to dynamically generate all the other ones, so we don't need them anymore. And then we could see that, how do you activate it?
It's just supposed to be activated.
Okay, like a hover over?
Yeah.
On nginx.
The collapsible is from the people. This part, the top part, the drop down button is where this.
Okay, get people. So,
I think it's this dot get fate, right?
So we have our data set here, fate service, right? But one thing that we forgot to do was inject it inside of our component so that we have access to it.
Oh. Okay, why do you have to inject it into component?
Our component is not aware of the services outside of it unless it's specified, which is why in our component here.
So a provider is different than like a construct. Well, yes, but I don't understand why you have to do it in two places.
Oh, so all right. So this component is specifying metadata for the particular class. Metadata is like static data that's kind of inert. and we're inside of it, we're specifying all of its dependencies. So in this one, the providers, we're specifying the dependencies of the services utilized in this component. In this case, the people service and the fate list service. And our class here, when we do public service with the type of that service we specified here, it knows to inject this particular service from its service list.
So like this public fateless service and then fateless service, where are you getting the first fateless service from?
So this is basically just the argument. So you're familiar in...
So it's locally defined, right?
Yeah, so inside of JavaScript we're used to our constructors or arguments looking like that, right? But with TypeScript, we are able to specify the types. Then as a shorthand, we can specify public type. So we say like this argument is public.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So that usually, public, this is a public modifier, but that usually means that we're specifying the type. So the property people service is of type people service. And then inside the constructor, we're doing this dot people service equals people service in the argument, right? But the public modifier allows us to kind of skip that step because it's a lot of boilerplate.
Right.
So that's a TypeScript thing.
Yay.
And notice how like I was defining it twice, and that's another TypeScript feature.
Right.
So now that we have it injected here, we can look back in our template and notice it's fate of fates. So we need to do fate service dot fates, but then we also have a problem with our naming conventions. So this needs to be pluralized. So
wait, and so like, why is that the case? But then for the people one, it worked.
Hold on. Fates. Yeah. All right. Well, it's not propagating the change here.
Because there's an error.
The error is basically when I renamed fate to fates, and now it doesn't want to do anything because it hates me. It's like, why did you change my fate? So, do we have to restart the server? Is that how this works?
No.
Uh-oh. Well, too bad.
Oh, sorry. You have to foreground and then kill it if you want. But I don't think it's going to help. Because Angular CLI should just do it for you. Okay.
Cool. Is it started?
I restarted it, yeah.
Is it running the background?
Yeah, it's running the background.
Okay. Let's see here. Fate does not exist on type fate. Okay, this errors for this right here.
Oh yeah, got it. Get fate.
It's probably best to use the getter provided. Actually, no, it doesn't like that. I forgot.
So why do you need to say this when as with people, I didn't have to do that?
In people, you did. So if we look at people service,
this one right
it's
here.
this people.
Right, but like,
yes.
You see what I'm saying?
I see. If we go back to our example here, we are essentially saying get people is representing whatever is returned from this get method. So you are defining the people person or the people list in your class here, and then you're populating it inside of the ngInit. So you could follow this pattern and say get fates, and then inside of here, I don't know why, we would want to do the same thing.
Why you would want to do the same thing?
Well, we would do the same thing of using the method getFates in order to interact with our service to run this a similar method of getFates, and then attach it to our component. And then again, like TypeScript is complaining that it doesn't the type of fates does not exist inside of our class because we have to specify the types.
Oh, TypeScript is so smart. I should start listening to TypeScript. I just see the red dots and I'm like, oh, something's happening, but I don't care.
Yeah, don't worry. I remember the first time I used a GPS, I was like, I know where I'm going, car.
Don't tell me not to turn.
Yeah, and then that was the wrong time.
So basically, listen to TypeScript. TypeScript is my GPS.
Yeah.
All the errors.
Basically, like when you're lost in LA and you think you know where you're going and it's traffic time, and you look at your GPS and it says take a left turn for a detour, you definitely should listen to it.
Okay. All right. I'll start listening.
Cool. So now you can see Ben Lesh.
Oh, cool.
And
Awesome.
Jay Phillips.
That's cool. Wait, did this one break? No. I need like a default. Okay, now I want to have it hooked up to this thingy.
By hooked up, you mean?
Let me drive.
Yeah.
With GPS.
With GPS.
Okay, so like basically, okay, so let's see if I can figure this out. I probably can't, but I'll try. So now in my HTML, I have, nope, I'm already lost. Okay, so I basically want, what I want is I want fate, oh God, message.
Sure. So
right,
like,
but I need to like, where do I probably need to put this in a div somehow, right? And then this is a fate message. And then do I need to do, I don't think it's an ng4, right? It's just like, it just renders out. It's like once that one is clicked, then the other thing shows.
Well, there's a few things going on here, right? Like it's good to kind of figure out what the view should look like. But remember that we have to select the person first.
Select the fate.
Or sorry, the fate.
Yeah.
So
so I need to do the on click or on select or something.
So similar to how you did selected person,
right?
Where you're saying you're creating a variable selected person, and you're saying whenever I click something, set this object as my selected one. So you want to do something very similar.
Oh, okay. So it's like fate. Selected.
Yeah, you want to do selected
fate dot message. Okay, got it.
But before you write the data binding here, you want to wire everything up, the behavior. So first we want to create the selected fates inside of our class, right? Similar to selected person.
And so that is on person select.
Yeah.
So I want to say on fate select.
Yes.
And then it's fate. This dot selected fate equals message, right? Because I'm trying to say it's this thing, right?
Well,
or is that not right?
Remember in the first one, whenever we selected a person, we provided the person object. Then we set selected to that one.
Oh, got it. And so it's one, fate.
Yes.
Okay.
Now remember.
Or isn't it fates?
No, it's fate. Okay. Because it's inside of the argument. Now remember, TypeScript is yelling at us because.
Oh yeah, I'm driving. I'm driving.
Yeah.
38 in column 10 does not exist.
What's cool about TypeScript is that you're able to, inside of the editor at least, click here to see the error. And then you can say like, oh.
So this is saying does not exist on the meaning it's not in the. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Because I need to define it.
Yes.
So I need to say selected fate. Do you like my any's?
Yeah. Any for days, yeah. When you're starting out with TypeScript, using a ton of any's is totally fine.
All right, well, that's obviously not going to work yet. Okay, so then I need to do something in here.
Almost.
Okay. Sorry, jumping ahead.
Yeah, you're jumping ahead. The thing before that.
So, selected fate.
Now remember.
Get fates.
Yep. When you do on person selected, what is calling that method?
I don't know.
Well, let's look in the template.
Remember wait, when I'm doing on press and select, what's calling the method?
Who's calling the method? It's in the template, right? So if you look at the click handler here, you can see that
got it, click.
Whenever we select on this element, it's going to select the person, and it's going to pass in the current person object inside of this iteration.
So what I need to do here is say the same thing, like when you click it on fate select, fate because that's the same thing.
Yeah, that's correct. Technically, you would probably want this the click listener on the A tag.
Oh, really?
As opposed to the element itself.
Okay, so let me just take that. Why?
That's mostly because the A tag is also emitting click events when you click on it, and presumably the markup is kind of.
Oh my god, this is so cool! It just like worked.
Yeah.
That was magical because
because you jumped ahead of yourself and you wired up the message beforehand.
Okay. Well, baby steps.
Yep.
But this is really cool. Like the fact that, I mean, I think for beginners it's just repetition, right? Like being able to figure this out took me forever.
Now, if we look back at the application, there's a few things to take note. One of them is that inside of our component, we are actually using jQuery here. On initialize.
For materialize.
Yes. And normally in frameworks, whenever you use something like jQuery outside of the framework, it usually doesn't know what's going on afterwards. In this case, we're adding behavior to this particular element, as well as doing some sort of any other jQuery behavior. And in our template, we can see the markup that it's attaching behavior to. But for some reason, we have Angular in here, and it's working. That's because Angular is able to interact and listen to native events. So the markup is being generated before jQuery is being added to the document. So ng on init, it's saying on initializing of this component, then attach data. So before that, it's going to generate the markup, and as well as generate any of the listeners, and then jQuery is going to come in and decorate it with its own jQuery ways. And that's why whenever we click, we are still able to listen to it, and it's still, everything just works. So that's one of the benefits of the Angular 2 added.
That's so exciting. Can we just read these real quick? Oh, hi, Ben. How are those observables coming along? Snap me your secrets, oh white beard. Do you think Brian's going to snap to me?
Well, I'm missing from this list, so yeah.
Hi, jQuery. I love jQuery. Okay, I mean jQuery. So wait, hold on. I can add you. To my amazing array. Don't worry, Patrick. We gotcha. We gotcha. Should we put you at the top though?
Yeah.
Like you're like the king.
Yep.
The king of the array. Should we be at Patrick JS?
Yeah, sure.
What should we say?
Something about Angular 2 and Universal.
Angular 2 is awesome with Angular Universal. And my beard. You don't really have a beard.
I don't have a beard. That's
you have like a thing.
I have a goatee thing.
And my goatee. There we go. Oh my god, did it work? It did. Hi Patrick, you can choose your fate now. Do you want to choose the fate of Ben Lesh?
Yeah, I'll choose Ben Lesh fate.
Yeah, well, I need to fix this up, but that was really exciting. Thank you so much for helping me.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, well, let's do it again sometime.
Cool.